When you look at the life of Musa alayhi salam, he goes through various things, various distresses, various tests in his life. But every time he goes through a test, his first reaction is to raise his hands and speak to Allah. The verses of Surah Al-Anbiya, the 19th surah of the Quran, Allah tells a story of 10 prophets, one after the other. And there's one thing in common between all of these prophets. What is it in this surah? Before فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ. Before that, وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ. وَزَكَرِيَّا. What's the first thing that these prophets are doing? They all are brought to their breaking point in their lives. Every prophet has a breaking and boiling point. Every material has a boiling and melting point. We learned this in GCSE physics, didn't we? Every material at some point will melt, break or shatter. Every messenger had their own breaking point. But when they were brought to their breaking point, they would call out to Allah. وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ. Now what's the difference between nida and dua? So Allah is saying here the prophets do nida. What's nida? It's calling someone from a distance. Abdul Rahman! This is nida. When the prophets were pushed to their breaking points, they would raise their hands like this and call out to Allah. Don't forget to do the same when you reach your breaking point. Secondly, the level of depth and sincerity with which they spoke to Allah, His response came, but not at the timeline that they thought, not in the way that they thought. But what was it that granted them that acceptance? Allah says, إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا يُسَارِعُونَ فِي الْخَيْرَاتِ. They were always racing to please me. You see, dua is a lifestyle. It's not a conversation. Allah's response is based on your lifestyle. He's saying the prophets were always, they had a lifestyle of racing towards Allah. وَيَدْعُونَنَا رَغَبًا وَرَهَبًا. And they would call me in fear and in hope. Trembling but hopeful. وَكَانُوا لَنَا خَاشِعِينَ. And they had a sense of humility when they stood in front of Him. The lifestyle of actions that please Allah, seeking the pleasure of Allah. The state of being when you speak to Allah, to be in a state of fear and hope and humility. These are the two secret ingredients that granted the prophets the responses that they were looking for.